At the beginning of February 2021, 3 advanced spacecraft are speeding through interplanetary space, all closing in on the finish line, the end of a nearly 300 million mile journey. The United States, China, and the United Arab Emirates each launched a mission to Mars in July 2020, and all 3 are scheduled to arrive within 10 days of each other this month. This is going to be an exciting couple of weeks. Let's meet our starring cast. First off the Earth was the Emirates Mars Mission, operated by the Mohammed bin Rashid Space Center in the United Arab Emirates. Its scientific vehicle is an orbiting space probe named Amal, meaning hope. This mission is the first spacecraft from an Arab country to travel to another planet, and it is a landmark for young people in STEM fields, and especially women, in the UAE. The average age of scientists and engineers working on the program is just 27 years old, and more than a third of that team is women, including 80% of the mission's scientists. The HOPE probe was launched from Tanegashima Space Center, Japan, with an H-2A rocket on July 20th. It successfully arrived in Martian orbit on Tuesday, February 9th, and the first up-close images should be available this week. This spacecraft is called the first true weather satellite for Mars. It will study the red planet's upper and lower atmosphere to produce a global weather map and to understand how oxygen and hydrogen are lost from the Martian atmosphere, which is currently made up of 96% carbon dioxide. Next to launch was China's Tianwen-l, which the China National Space Agency launched on July 23rd from Wenchang Satellite Launch Center in Hainan, the southernmost province in the country. The mission's Chinese name, Tianwen, translates to mean heavenly questions, or questions asked to heaven. This name comes from a poem written by Qiu Yuan, one of the greatest poets of ancient China. I believe this is the first Chinese spacecraft to leave the Earth-Moon system. A previous attempted Mars mission rode along with a Russian mission to the Martian moon Phobos in 2011, but that mission stalled in low Earth orbit and failed. Tianwen-1 is a very ambitious first mission. It consists of not only an orbital communication and research satellite, but also a lander and rover. It arrived in orbit on February 10th. After arrival in orbit, Tianwen-1 will spend about 3 months surveying the Martian surface, in particular confirming the final choice of landing sites within the Utopia Planitia region. And then it will release the lander, which will carry its first planetary rover down to the surface. One of the scientific instruments on this rover is a ground-penetrating radar, which will be used to look below the surface as much as 100 meters deep, maybe even finding any signs of underground water. And third, the one you may have heard a lot about, is the United States Mars 2020 mission. You might recognize it by the name of its rover, Perseverance. This mission, like the Mars Science Laboratory, the Curiosity rover, in 2012, consists of a large, 6-wheeled robotic rover with a camera arm and many scientific instruments. In fact, it is a very similar basic design to the Curiosity, even arriving on the surface with the same Sky Crane landing system. That Sky Crane is a hovering, intermediate spacecraft stage which carries the rover from when the atmosphere heat shield detaches, around 1 mile above ground, all the way until about 75 feet up. There, the Sky Crane hovers using small thruster engines, while lowering the rover to the ground with a trio of cables for a soft and precise landing. The rover will bring with it to Mars 2 microphones to record the descent and sounds on the surface, and 23 cameras, some of which will even record in 3D. One of the most interesting experiments it carries, for me, is called MOXIE. MOXIE is a device sort of like an electric catalytic converter. It takes in carbon dioxide from the atmosphere on Mars and converts it into oxygen. In future Mars missions, that oxygen could be used for fueling rockets or for humans to breathe. Another novel device is named Ingenuity, and it might be the first aircraft to take off and land again on another planet. Ingenuity is a small, solar-powered helicopter drone. If it can be flown successfully in Mars's thin atmosphere, it will allow future missions to bring more advanced aircraft to go where rovers or astronauts cannot go. Perseverance is due to land on Mars on Thursday, February 18th, at about 2:15 Eastern Standard Time. You'll be able to tune in to live NASA broadcasts and streams to follow the landing excitement and mission control live on Thursday the 18th. Here is the NASA Live page at nasa.gov. You can watch TV coverage with mission commentary here. You can also tune in on JPL's YouTube channel for a video stream from Mission Control during the landing period. There will also be several events in the hours and days leading up to the Perseverance landing. You can view a series of short behind-the-scenes interviews with staff who work on the Perseverance mission in the Behind the Spacecraft playlist on NASA 360's YouTube. This website, for the Deep Space Network, shows the status of the set of giant radio dishes around the world that are used by NASA and other space agencies to communicate with spacecraft, like Mars 2020, this dish at least right now. If you want more than just the live stream, you can try one of these next web resources to explore Mars yourself. This website and mobile app, NASA's Eyes on the Solar System, lets you fly to and explore photo-accurate models of planets, moons, and asteroids in our solar system. We can also search for a particular spacecraft if it is in the database. Here, we're taking a close-up view of Mars 2020 and its cruise configuration. We can see the brown heat shield for atmospheric entry, and also the solar panels and propellant tanks used to power and maneuver the probe on its flight from Earth. And for an up-close view of the surface of Mars, you can visit NASA's Mars Trek. This is somewhat like a Google Earth for Mars. We can zoom in on actual satellite images over most of the planet's surface. We can also search for and view some particular landmarks, like the Perseverance landing site in Jezero Crater. Finally, for a different view from Mars, let's take a closer look at the night sky that's been behind this presentation. You may have already noticed that the landscape in the background wasn't trees or an ocean, but red. Today we are in fact looking at the night sky from Mars, on the day that Perseverance lands. Now, Mars sees very nearly the same sky as we do from Earth, with just a couple exceptions. There's no big bright moon crossing the sky once a month. Instead, there are 2 moons, and they circle in just a few hours. This right here is Mars's moon Phobos, crossing the sky and going into eclipse behind Mars's shadow, like it does most nights. The sun is both smaller and dimmer, because it is farther away. And we can't see a red planet in the night sky. Instead, we can see a little blue dot right here. That is Earth and its moon, as seen from Mars. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed hearing about this trio of spacecraft that is starting to explore the red planet this month. And I hope you managed to catch some of the exciting live event for Perseverance landing. Again, event coverage will start at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time, with an expected landing time of 3:55 p.m. And until next time, aloha and good night.